Welcome back, y'all. Now today in Baldur's Gate 3, we're going to take a look at Swashbuckler and its multi-class potential. I don't think anybody needs to be told that Rogue is excellent for multi-classing into, but what about if you want to be that Rogue, or in this case, that Swashbuckler? Well, what's going to pair with that fantasy, that style, when it comes to the other classes and subclasses? Now we're going to go over the basics of Swashbuckler, kind of look out to what makes the class really shine, or the subclass really shine, and then we'll move into a list and we'll talk about what synergizes with it and maybe what to avoid, and then we'll finish off the video with a gameplay section. So let's get started. So quickly going over Swashbuckler here. As far as your ability score, you want to focus on dexterity, constitution, and then into charisma as well. There's going to be some synergy with taking some charisma, and also Swashbuckler here will benefit from charisma because of something like dirty tricks, vicious mockery. So a little bit different than the other rogues at the moment. Now, we don't pick our subclass until level 3, and we pick up Fancy Footwork and Rakish Audacity. Rakish Audacity here is kind of the big ticket item, where it's going to give us bonus to our initiative, and that's going to scale up as our rogue level goes up. So this class is not going to have any trouble whatsoever being first in the turn order or very, very close. Additionally, our sneak attack is going to get changed into Rakish Sneak Attack. Or maybe it's just Rakish Attack. I don't know. We'll see in game. We don't need advantage anymore to trigger the sneak attack, as long as we are within that 1.5 meters and we don't have disadvantage. That disadvantage could be because of something like threat. So this is very much you want to solo out targets, and then you'll be able to hit them with this sneak attack. And something it doesn't mention right here is your Rakish Sneak Attack will actually do more damage if you have advantage. So the play style that we're going to be going for here is to have advantage so our sneak attacks do more damage. That's kind of be the flow that we're looking for. Now we get a lot of help with that with level 4, and we get these dirty tricks. We get Flick of the Wrist, which is essentially a free disarm. You know, we don't have to use a Battle Master maneuver or anything like that. Nope, we just got to use our bonus action and we can disarm a target. Really handy there. It's all our bonus actions as well. We also get Pocket Sand or Sand Toss, where we can blind a target, and then Vicious Mockery. And with each one of these dirty tricks, we're going to get a buff called Dirty Tricks, which will give us advantage on our next attack. So the playstyle here will be to open up with one of our bonus actions. We will then proc Dirty Advantage, and then we can start laying into them with our regular actions so that our Rakish Sneak Attack will do more damage. Now, further on with Rogue, you can see at level 9 there, we get Panache. This is not worth, I would say, going 9 levels into compared to what we're going to miss out on if we don't take this. So if we go 9 levels into Rogue, we're going to be missing out on a lot of other benefits we could get from multi-classing. Taking 3 levels into another class while being 9 Swashbuckler, I don't think that's going to cut it if we have multi-classing available to us. I think there are going to be far better options. So let's go ahead and head to the synergy list, and we're going to be picking out what's going to pair with this style. And I have a feeling we're going to find some gems in there. Now, with our list here, you see there, S tier at the top is going to be just my favorite pick. We have A tier there. That's going to be what synergizes with it. B is just solid. C is going to be like a meh. Maybe you're going to have to do some legwork with some gear to make it work. And then D is for water deep. And that's basically just, I do not recommend. Now, when it comes to Swashbuckler, I'm looking for multi-class options that are going to give us extra attack. Those are going to go way up on our list because rogues desperately need extra attack, or I should say they desperately benefit from extra attack. And then when it comes to something like spells, I think we're going to stick to the utility department. Now, spellcasters that maybe synergize with or have a charisma as their spell modifier, maybe they're going to get a little bit of a leg up, but this is very much a martial focused class. So let's start out on a high note. Let's start with Fighter, and Fighter gets more than just the usual synergy pick here because Battle Master and something like Champion, I think, pair really, really well with Swashbuckler. You kind of get you get 2 options basically on how you want to disarm a target, because you can use your Battle Master maneuver to disarm a target, or you can use your bonus action to disarm a target. So a little bit of versatility in choice there, and I think that goes a long way. Additionally, something like Riposte or Trip Attack, I think it just pairs really well for, again, this swashbuckling rogue. I think Fighter, yeah, really, really strong synergy there just overall. Let's talk about Bard. Bard I like also a lot, maybe even a little bit more. Now, when it comes to Bard, because Swashbuckler is benefiting from having charisma, I think Bard maybe is a little bit of a leg up because I think it'd be hilarious, and I'm gonna show this in the gameplay section, because you can basically dual cast Vicious Mockery because you have a bonus action version of it, and now we're gonna have a regular action with Bard here. So you're just gonna be this like shit talking swashbuckler. Maybe not so much on the martial side. Obviously, College of Swords is probably going to be the optimal pick that like most, I would say, swashbuckling rogues are going to want, but I'm going to show off College of Lore instead because of cutting words, and I think that'll just be really funny to just have this, just this shit talking swashbuckler. Maybe not as good with the sword, but just dishing out a bunch of like foul language to get everybody like upset. I don't know, that's the fantasy I'm working at. But anyways, Bard, I really like. Now let's move on to maybe a spellcaster real quick. Let's talk about Wizard. I think Blade Singer can maybe work for this because you will pick up that extra attack, and I already talked about how it is huge for this subclass, and you don't really need any gear or weapons to make this work as far as pairing Swashbuckler with Blade Singing. So I will put it in the solid tier. That one a little bit surprised me. Now when it comes to spells, I would just pick strictly utility spells, something like Misty Step, a heal, something like that. Not something that's not going to be too much based off of intelligence. So actually a really solid pick. I didn't actually consider Wizard would be this high up, but here we are. Now let's talk about Cleric here. Cleric I do think is water deep. They have a Wisdom spell modifier. They are definitely more on the spellcaster, the magic side. They're not going to be giving us extra attack. Now, something like Death Domain, if we use their Divinity Charge, would do a little bit more damage. So maybe actually the meh category. I'm not thrilled about keeping Cleric in the C tier, but if you do a 6-6 split with Swashbuckler and Death Domain, you're going to get those 2 divinity charges to add that necrotic damage. So that can be strong. And then taking wisdom is never a bad thing in Baldur's Gate 3. So I'll keep it there for now. I'm really just looking to throw something into Waterdeep, but I start off there and then I just quickly like puss out about it because I'm like, well, it actually can work. But Druid here, do you think you're going to escape my wrath? I don't think so. I don't think Druid works with Swashbuckler at all. It's got that wisdom modifier. If you think of something like Circle of Stars, they give you more bonus action, but we're covered in the bonus action department with our dirty tricks. We're not picking up extra attack. Maybe Spores, you could be like, well, you get that reaction for a little bit more necrotic damage, but I don't think that's worth it. I'm going to keep Druid in Waterdeep, and you guys let me know if I'm wrong about this one. Let's go to a positive note here. Monk. Oh my god, I love Monk for this, actually. It's probably going to be my top pick. And I'm thinking Drunken Master, and you're going to see the gameplay of this, because Drunken Master gets those intoxicating strikes. Well, that gets a target drunk. What does being drunk do? Well, it makes that target then have disadvantage on dexterity saving throws, which is exactly what our 2 dirty tricks, Pocket Sand, it's not called Pocket Sand, it's called Sand Toss, but I'm going to keep calling it Pocket Sand. Pocket Sand and Flick of the Wrist, those are both off of our dexterity. Vicious Mockery is the one that's on Charisma. But anyways, so that Drunken effect is going to help out those 2 dirty tricks. So a lot of synergy there, and I like the fantasy of a drunken swashbuckler, kind of a Jack Sparrow.
Why is the rum always gone?
So that's easily going to be my top pick. Maybe not the most optimal, but it definitely is the most fun in my opinion. Now let's just throw up all the other ones that give you extra attack because those are all going to synergize. Ranger, yep, excellent. Barbarian, that works too. Paladin, yep. And then Warlock as well. Now as far as the order of these, there's a lot of benefits you get from, we'll start with Warlock here. There's a lot of benefits you get from Hexblade. You can obviously then dump some of your dexterity, but because, and that sounds like a bad thing, but it's really not, because as a swashbuckler, we get that bonus initiative. So we're going to be basically covered with our turn order. So that's not going to hurt us too much if we throw the scales into charisma's favor a little bit more. So that's why this one is in A tier. Paladin here, Divine Strikes, a little bit of charisma synergy with some of the oath charges that you get at level 3. So that works in my opinion. Barbarian may be on the lower end just because you do have to rage first before I would say you can be like full swing into the combat. But still, really, really good choice here. Obviously synergizes because nothing Barbarian is doing is going to get in the way of swashbuckling. We're going to pick up that extra attack. So I think that works really well. And then Ranger here, I'm thinking of Gloomstalker, really strong. Swarmkeeper is going to be really strong as well because taking just 3 levels into Ranger, a lot of benefits from that. And obviously you go up to the 5 for that extra attack. And I think that's just going to help Swashbuckler out so much more. I think in the gameplay section, I will have a Ranger mix, but it'll be Gloomstalker. We haven't seen Gloomstalker in a while, so with Gloomstalker, man, it's just like a crazy amount of initiative because Gloomstalkers also get a bonus to their initiative. So I expect my Gloomstalker Swashbuckler to be first in the turn order no matter what. And then last on our list here is Sorcerer. Now, Charisma modifier, sure. We're not picking up extra attack though. I am gonna put this in it's either the very bottom of solid or it's in the meh tier. I'm going to keep it in the meh tier. And then just taking a quick look at everything in case I want to reshuffle. Nope, I'm pretty happy with this. You guys let me know as far as synergies, if I'm really missing the mark on any of these or if I'm not thinking of a certain subclass that would work with Swashbuckler as far as these lower ones, because I think everything in A tier here is pretty obvious why it's going to synergize. But let's go ahead and head to the gameplay section. Now in the gameplay section here, we've gotten ourselves into a little bit of a tussle with these sea-loving fairies. Well, actually, I don't think they're fairies. I don't know. They could be. I don't think so. Anywho, really quick about Swashbuckler. So this is our rakish sneak attack here. Now we can only do this once per turn, but you see there, deal extra damage to foes that you have advantage against. And then it goes over the usual where we can do this without having advantage as long as there's no combatants within 2 meters of our target. And then we can't use this attack if we have disadvantage. So being threatened, we can't use this. Now, prior to the last balance fix or balance patch, when you would proc one of your dirty tricks and you'd get that dirty advantage, you would have your dirty advantage little icon over here, your little buff. And even though it says it would give you advantage on your next attack, that was not working. Well, I am vindicated as fuck because now it is working, so I don't seem so fucking crazy. Oh, Mr. No Man, you're dropping a lot of F-bombs. I know, I was really worked up about that whole thing and people telling me I was crazy. Now, something else about Swashbuckler. You want to basically go into your reaction menu here and at least have it so your rakish sneak attack, it asks you before it procs it, or else you're going to be just swinging away before you have advantage, and it's just going to do it automatically. I don't know why by default this is automatic, but yeah, go ahead if you are on the live version or if you're on the test server as well. Make sure this is ask first, or else you're going to be wasting your sneak attack without advantage. So let's take a look at our crew here, our piratey crew. They all have really bad gear, and they all just have their rapiers here. Now, Will here, he is our drunken master, 7 monk, 5 rogue. Really with rogue, man, I was struggling to just find reasons to take it past level 4. So just know on like a normal playthrough, I would probably just stop at 4 on Swashbuckler. I think that would be a lot better. But Will here, he is that drunken master mix that I really like. We have our Tav here. He's going to be our bard. Again, you don't need rogue to be 6 here, and you can do much better with it being a little bit lower. And then Shadowheart, she is going to be a warlock fighter variant. I actually did it more correct here with the 4 rogue, 5 warlock, 3 fighter. And then last here will be Gale. He's going to be 5 rogue, 5 ranger, 2 paladin. Really, this would have been better if I would have done 4 rogue, 5 ranger, or actually 3 ranger, 5 paladin. Something like that would have been a little bit better, and then I could have a little bit more charisma as well. But that's kind of the splits we're going for. Now we're going to start off with Will here. And so, like I said in the synergy list section, we want to use Intoxicating Strike, which is going to get our target drunk, which they're going to have disadvantage on dexterity and charisma. So that then is going to help out our Flick of the Wrist, any one of our dirty tricks here. So let's go ahead and hit them with our Intoxicating Strike. So now they're drunk. That also procced our extra attack, but we're not going to want to do that just yet. We want to get advantage on ourselves, because right now you can see we just have Life of the Party. Life of the Party also doesn't get in the way of what we're doing as a Swashbuckler. So I think these two are actually like a match made in heaven as far as multiclassing. But we're going to use Flick of the Wrist. And now it asks us, do you want to proc your sneak attack? And I do not right now. Our Bard also has a Cutting Words proc. We're not going to use that right now. And so despite them saving or succeeding their saving throw to hold on to their weapon, we still have dirty advantage for 2 turns. Now this condition will go off once we do an attack. So we're going to follow up here now with our rakish sneak attack because we have advantage. so it should do more damage. You see, our dirty advantage is now away, and that's basically our opener there, and they're still drunk, so we still have, you know, advantage when it comes to, or they have disadvantage against our dirty tricks. And like always, don't be too concerned about the numbers here. Obviously, this gear is absolutely shit. This is an Act 3, so just know you're going to have much, much better gear that's going to make probably one-shotting these enemies here much easier, or at least, you know, getting them near to death. So let's just go ahead and end Will's turn. Let's go over to our Bard. I gave my Bard haste. That's also a benefit of going that 6 and 6 because you get those magical secrets from Bard. So what I was mentioning earlier is the fact that you can use Vicious Mockery. Who do we want to hit? Let's go ahead and just finish off the one Will was talking to. We're going to basically double talk shit. Good one. And then we can do it again with another just regular Vicious Mockery. And since we're going to fail, guess what? We have our Cutting Words. Now, is that a shit ton of damage or anything like that? No, it's just funny. We don't have advantage against this target. Our Rakish Sneak Attack is still going to do more damage than our regular Sab. So go ahead and use that on this target. See ya. And then one more thing to mention about Bard here. Obviously, we get something like Long Strider, but Hold Person here, really, really strong because it's going to give us that critical. So if we have somebody that's Hold Person, we have Dirty Advantage up, and then we do our Rakish Sneak Attack. Ooh, a lot of damage. So a lot of synergy with Bard here. We're just going to have him sit there and we're going to end our turn. Now here is our Paladin mix. I want to make sure that my Divine Smites here are also on not automatic. So yes, it's going to ask us for our Divine Smites so everybody can see that. So we're just going to go in strong with this one. We're going to again go with, let's go with actually Sand Toss, Pocket Sand. So we hit him with Pocket Sand, and you know what? This is a bug. In Pocket Sand, although it says it triggers Divine Smite, it actually doesn't. This is a bug. I'm thinking why is this patch taking so long? Like, I get a lot of questions like that in the comment section. And I do think it's partially because of Swashbuckler. I think Swashbuckler is very buggy as far as its mechanics. So I'm not saying it's all of Swashbuckler's fault, but I'm thinking that something like Swashbuckler is the reason why it's taking a little bit longer than people would think. But we're going to go ahead and we're not going to react because clicking on Divine Smites here, it's not working. Now we do have our Dirty Advantage, and you can see we're also threatened. So prior to the last patch, like I mentioned at the beginning of the gameplay, this would not give us advantage because we are threatened. And that just didn't seem right to me, considering again, the Dirty Advantage says we get advantage on our next attack. Well, you can see here now it's working as intended. So we're going to go ahead and hit him with our Rakish Sneak Attack. And now we're going to proc Divine Smite. So a lot of fun with Sneak Attack and Divine Smite both working together. We can go ahead and hit him again, and we'll just add our Divine Smite again. And because we're that Gloomstalker, we get our Dread Ambush as well. I'm not going to use a bow. I'm going to use my melee weapon. We can just keep smiting. So if we were geared out, yeah, this target would have been wiped off the map essentially. But we can go ahead and end Gale's turn. And now we have Shadowheart. She is that Warlock Fighter variant here. We already used our concentration on Elemental Weapon, but they can also do that Hold Person combo, which is going to be really strong for this. But with all Swashbucklers, we want to gain that advantage. So we're going to use, so we already use Pocket Sand, we use Vicious Mockery. Let's just go with Flick of the Wrist again. They drop their weapon. Again, we don't want to proc this until we got our advantage, or we know that's going to proc. So we can go ahead and just follow up with our Sneak Attack now. And then, because we're Warlock, well, we picked up our good old friend Booming Blade. Haven't seen you in a while, Booming Blade, so we can go ahead and hit him with Booming Blade. Beautiful. And because we're a fighter, we can go ahead and use Action Surge. And you know, we're out of our Sneak Attack. We can only use our Sneak Attack, and we can only use our Booming Blade once. Well, now instead of just doing regular swings, we have our battle maneuvers to work with. So we can use Trip Attack. Beautiful. And then after that, just go ahead and do Trip Attack again. Ooh, I like this fighter Warlock variant. I think that pairing is really, really good together. But that's all Shadowheart can do. So we can go ahead and end our turn and see what these last two are going to do. They're going to do Conjure Elemental. So this is what I was talking about with picking up, I would say, utility spells. Something like Counterspell, really good here. Except for the fact that this is a level 5 Conjuration spell, so neither one of these counterspells are going to work. So we can go ahead and just don't react, and we'll just save the spell slots. You see my Tab over there just sitting at the table, just taking a breather. He's just like, oh, kind of tired already, guys. Now this is a nice reaction. We get Cutting Words, which I think it'll help us negate one of the swings. Shield, on the other hand, is going to be better because this is a multi-strike, and that shield is going to last until basically the next round. So we're going to go ahead and just use shield. And the other one is we're just not going to. Yeah, see, every strike cutting words would be coming up. We lost our concentration. That's okay. Damn, Gale just got his ass beat over here. Let's go ahead and switch back over to Will. We're going to use, let's go ahead, Flick of the Wrist. Flick of the Wrist is definitely going to be the go-to when it comes to humanoids. When you disarm somebody, you can just quickly pick up their weapon, and then they're basically useless for the rest of the encounter. But we do have Dirty Advantage here. We're going to go ahead. We should have hit him with Intoxicating Strike. That was a misplay. We're just going to do that now for fun. So now they're drunk. You know what we're going to do? We're just going to spread the intoxication instead of following up. Such a great animation. It's so good. And now we're going to move over to Shadowheart, which we're going to hopefully just take out one of these two to get rid of these water elementals. We want to get that advantage. And another great thing about Swashbuckler here is, again, yeah, you can do this every time with your bonus action. You're not wasting any resources. So it's a very, I would say, reliable loop. So I just disarmed their trident. Go ahead, just pick it up. I'm gonna take a little bit of damage. Pick up the trident. Now they don't have a, now that they can't poke us. Now we still have advantage, so we're gonna use our sneak attack. Got a critical, beautiful. Go ahead, follow up with booming blade. Love it. Now if they try to run away, they're gonna kill themselves because of booming blade. So we'll see if that happens. Let's run over a little bit. We're gonna get hit with the opportunity strike. So I think what we'll do is actually, we're going to hit him with Vicious Mockery. So we're going to go ahead. Where's Pocket Sand? Can that reach? No. So we're going to use Vicious Mockery, even if this doesn't succeed. Oh, no, it didn't succeed. Shit. That's okay. We can do Rakish Sneak Attack because, again, we're not threatened. Nobody's near us. And this is going to do a little bit more damage. So you can play this as you have a range options as well. I don't know how much, like, fantasy-wise I'm vibing with that, but again, it is an option. So we're going to go ahead and hit him with our Sneak Attack long range and just keep following up. Not a lot of damage because, again, yeah, it's just a light crossbow. Is this just something they do? Is they just keep recasting Conjure Elemental? That seemed like a waste. But let's go ahead and finish off this fight. I like this. I like this combination here with Booming Blade. Beautiful. And we'll do a trip attack. This should give everybody else advantage if the trip attack goes off. Ooh, we could proc our critical strike. No, we'll wait for a second. Good job there. And then moving over to Will, and because our target is prone, we have advantage. So we don't need to use any of our dirty tricks as far as, to gain that dirty advantage. So that's a nice benefit. We could also follow up with Drunken Technique. Oh yeah. And then now just finish him off. Oof. So not bad at all. Big fan of Swashbuckler now. I knew it had that potential, but yeah. Earlier version of it just was not working as intended, and now that this is a really fun subclass. Unfortunately, I do think this is one of those subclasses that needs that multi-class option. So kind of the opposite of Monk, where I'm like, Monk multi-classing, yeah, some good options, but Monk, I just like to play pure Monk. Well, with Rogue here, with Swashbuckler, I do think you need that multi-class to really make this playstyle shine. Anyways, that's the video. If you guys made it this far, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Let me know what you would do to multi-class with Swashbuckler, and I will see you next time. Peace and take care.